What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for a super quick video, and today I'll be talking about speed. We'll talk about what are the stuff that it affects, how much is the boost, where's the sweet spot, some recommendations, and of course the biggest change on speed this 2K24. This one here have lots of important info, so try to watch the video fully so it'll make full sense. It's not going to be that long anyway, and after watching, please let me know in the comment section any feedback or any recommendation for a topic. So now let's get right into it. So after playing around with speed, here are the things that I found out. First one, it doesn't touch your movement with the ball. And here you can see, that's 99 and 25, and there is no reasonable difference. That's minimum and maximum. If there's any boost in there, it should be at least noticeable. So the main thing that speed does is to boost your off-ball movements, like sprints. So for the test, I'll be doing 2 sets, one for guards and one for big men, and I'll put timer on my samples, and let's see if how much is the boost. So now for the first one, let's test for guard builds. And in here you can see, at first it looks linear, but I decided to test for more because there's still a chance that it's not actually linear on some parts. And I was right. In here you can see, if I put those samples in between, it's starting to get complicated. From 27 to 45, the boost is not that much. Then the moment you hit around 63, there's a spike. Then the moment you reach around 81, the boost starts to drop. Now, I know most guard builds are concerned about this part here, so I made another batch of tests to focus on that range. And I'll be putting more samples to be more accurate. And in here you can see, from 81 to 99, it looks linear. Try to ignore those small creases. It just happened that the metrics of this one are really micro, so all those margin of errors will be noticeable. But I'll consider that as linear. So for guard builds, I know most of you are just deciding around this range, and to know that the boost is linear, I recommend to max it because there's no saturation point. Don't click off yet, that's not everything, there's more. So before we talk about the biggest change, let's talk about the boost on big man builds first. Pretty much the same test, but with this one, since the max for big man builds is around 70, the range for this test will be around 26 to 70 only. And in here you can see, from 26 to 48, nothing much is really happening, and it starts to pick up past 48. By the way, when I say 48 in there, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's exactly 48. There are some plus minus in these kind of tests, so it could be somewhere around 46 or somewhere around 50. So those values you see there are not the exact numbers 100%. Now, I know most big man builds are just concerned about this range, so for the next batch of tests, I will include samples on that range. And here you can see, from 48 to 70, it's linear. So for big man builds, I think the game is pushing us to put more speeds as much as possible because there's no saturation point, unlike with smaller builds. Past around 81, boost starts to drop. And by the way, just to give you an idea about the difference between heights, here's 70 speed for a small build and a big man build. You can notice that naturally, on the same speed rating, smaller builds are naturally faster. I know there will be lots of opinion on this one. It's been an ongoing debate. Some players think that same rating should have the same output. Doesn't matter what height. Some players think that smaller builds should be naturally faster, and there are some players that think bigger builds should be faster because of longer strides. So let me know in the comment section what do you guys think. So before we go to the next part, just want to invite you guys to like the video if liking so far. And if you're new here, I'm Choots and I do lots of detailed badge and stat testings. First week I'm going to do stuff like, speed with ball, strength, acceleration, vert, and all the stuff you need to know on the first week before you finalize your build. And I'm doing this thing full time, so expect a lot of videos coming your way. Trust me, subscribing to this channel will be one of your best investment this year. So now going back, the biggest change is the lateral movement part. Last year, speed doesn't touch it, because the one that touches it is your lateral quickness, which is tied up to your perimeter defense. I even tried to test it right now, just to be 100% sure, and it's exactly like that. On 2K24 though, that is not the case. Speed will affect your lateral movements, which will put more importance on putting speed rating on your builds. And here you can see, that's the gap of 29 and 99, which is really big. I even tried to double check it and I got the same results. At first I thought that maybe the reason behind that is because maybe this launch here is considered a sprint, that's why the other one looks faster. But even I tried to sync those clips and start them after the launch, 99 will still be faster. So it means that speed really touches the actual lateral movement. So now for the quick summary, in terms of functions, speed affects your off-ball movements, including your sprints and lateral movements, and it doesn't touch your movement with the ball. And for the recommendation, for big man builds, try not to leave it less than around 48 because there's not much boost from 26 to 48. Much better if you put it higher. And if you think that you want to double down on your speed, you can max it, there is no saturation point. And for small builds, I recommend to max it. Knowing that it affects your lateral movements, it's a must-have on high level, especially now that we know we have linear boost from 81 to 99. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this or any other feedback. And that's all for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.